again, but um, that's just where I'm at right now, and that's okay. I'm all wound up, but yeah. I was kind of in reflection mode earlier tonight, thinking about all every time it's like late night, I'm driving around Minneapolis for a reason. I'm reminded of all the places that I went to when I went with a special person that was near and dear to my heart for so many years. And there are so many memories that you carry with that person, with you, because you're with that person, and I mean, I could take you down some stuff and some stories that you'd be like, whoa, I didn't even know that. you know, and I'm gonna be honest, I there was a large part of me that, that played that part pretty good. On the outside, I was one of those guys that went to church, did the right thing. I was raised good, never hurt anybody and all that kind of stuff. But there was always the other side where it was like, okay, I wasn't, one of those guys that, hey, what's he doing, I mean, but at the end of the day, knowing that. But here's the thing, you got in with the wrong individual, and this is where it goes. Your associations will take you down a path that you didn't want to go down. Your association, the fact that you are where you're at right now is proof positive about about the quality of life that you have, the quality of life that you live. See, a lot of people, we forget about all that stuff. We forget, hey, the quality of life that you live right now is directly affected by the choices that you've made. Whether it's the people that are in your life, whether it's the job that you have, whether it's the family that you have that you'd rather not have or whatever, or something else totally different, right? The fact that you are where you're at right now is because of the things that have happened in your life. And I can take myself back to an earlier time about 15 years ago. Probably 20 years ago now. I'd say about 15 years ago. The year was 2004. I was almost through college, and there was something about it. There was something that God Almighty was doing in my life at the time. And it was big. It came down to this, knowing that that you were loved, you were appreciated, you were valued, regardless of what happened in your life. And see, a lot of times we forget that. But anyway, going back to that, it's like I just remember how much my dad appreciated. And it doesn't sound like, to a lot of people, it may not sound like, oh, a pat on the back. But that means something to you when your dad really was proud of you. And really was cheering you on because of what you did. And it made him feel good, like, hey, I raised this guy right. I can remember going to church every time the doors were open. Wednesday, Sunday, like 2 or 3 times a week. Not because somebody put a gun to my head and made me go to church. I went on my own volition. I did it because I knew that there was something happening in my life. And it was that experience, it was that would carry me on to doing something, to when things when things got harder, when I lost my dad, it's like you had that foundation. Now, and there's nothing that really prepares you for that moment. That moment in time when you think that everything's okay, and all of a sudden you get a tsunami, you get a hurricane that blows everything that you have in your life that you hold on to near and dear apart and away. And that's kind of what happened that day. But you know what? I believe God, in all honesty, sincerity, He restores all that. He makes it all new. I don't know how He does it, but He does. And we can sit here and we can debate all day long, but you know what? That's the truth. That's where I'm at. And I think that's always reflection time. That's reflection time because you know that you know that you know that you know. And if you don't know you're loved, let me be the first to tell you, you are loved. Not only by me, but by the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. You are loved. And if you understand that, then there you go. Everything starts and ends with love. Love is a powerful thing. It's a powerful word. And I can remember all those times, like when I was going through life with an individual for better part of about 12 to 15 years. And we had some rough times. I'm not going to say the individual's name. Don't need to, most people would probably look and say, well, why are you hanging around that guy? He's got this and that, the other thing, up and down. Very difficult guy to love. Very difficult guy to see the good in him. When you look at all the other stuff that goes on, everything else that he did, and you know what? At the end of the day, it all came down to love. If he loved you, if he truly loved you, he protected you, and you knew that he loved you, whether it was the words that he said, or that hug, And he was one of those guys that would break down in a heartbeat. Truth be told, when things were tough, or when he couldn't carry on, he knew that there was a genuine love. Not from nothing sexual, nothing like that, but it's just that general knowing of, hey, you're loved. Hey, you're appreciated. You're valued. Even though you had all this other stuff swirling all around, like a bunch of sharks, knowing that you know that you know that you know that you know, you're appreciated. You're valued. You're accepted, and that's really the deal right there. I don't know what happened last week. I started to think about things a little bit more, sitting there at my desk. And I think it's, you think about I think about, it's like, I believe God is positioning me to be in that position. Like, you know what? You're not going to be on this earth forever. You're not going to be in the same position that you are right here, right now. You are in that place because He put you there. There's a reason why you're not doing what you're supposed to, what you like to be doing. There's a large part of me that wants to be married, have kids, all that kind of stuff. But you know what? There's a position, there's a place that He is bringing you to where you're like, whoa, I didn't even expect that. And knowing that He has it all planned out. And a lot of times we try to guess, and we try to think, oh yeah, I got this. And we screw it up. We mess up the plan that He's really laid out for us. And we go out there and try to make things happen, whether it's to get another job that might be a better job, or to get that woman, make something happen. And, Kind of, let me see what I can do here. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's knowing. It all comes back to love. That's really what it is. Cause I mean, I look at my list, right, of people that I have here, and there's so many people that I can look back on and look at the memory and remember everything that we've done together, and know that regardless of where things are at, God had a perfect plan, a perfect place, perfect plan for where you're at right now. Now, you may not say, well, it's not exactly what I want to be doing in my life. Not exactly. Not exactly what life is all about. See, a lot of times we can get to a point where we're just like burned out on life. And if you're not careful, life can take the wind out. It can take everything out that it's supposed to be, because we get all worked up over stuff that, if you really think about it, the cares and the worries that we carry with us throughout the day, whether it's the job stress or the stress with the kids or the family or a close friend or relative that's in the fight of their life, or whatever it is. It's easy for us to get all worked up over something like that, that when you really think about it, or maybe it's this, being on time to a job. No, don't get me wrong, those things are important, but when you're rushing around to try and beat the bandwagon, that's not going to matter in 100 years. Really, what's going to matter is when it comes down to it, what you did for him, what you did for others. Now, I'm not. It's not about a works project. It's not about, hey, let me do these 20 good things, 20 good works, and then maybe that's going to equate to the, hey, here we go. It's about the message. It's about your heart posture in all of that. And that's really what it is. And sometimes you have to kind of be in a position of like, you know what, I may not have everything where I want to be. I may not be everything that God has called me to be. And be all, and sometimes it's just you taking ownership of that, taking the reins of that, and just saying, you know what, I'm going to let him do it. I'm going to let him do everything. And that's really all there is to it, I think there's a lot in it when you can truthfully say, you know what, I may not have everything where I want it to be. I may not be everything I want that he has called me to be. But you know what? As long as you are progressing and getting better and moving towards that plan, you're doing awesome. Give yourself a pat on the back. Even though you may not be exactly in the right position that you want to be in life, as long as you're moving towards that goal, that's good. That you know what? Baby steps. That's all I gotta say. Baby steps. And that's really what it comes down to. I think a lot of people are just it's so easy to get worked up. Should be a bumper sticker called life. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy life. Enjoy the roller coaster. Because you know what? This life is a roller coaster. It is a roller coaster full of ups and downs, twists and turns. Just like a good novel should be how your life is. Like the word says, like a written epistle is your life. Basically, in so many words. Your life is a written epistle. Whether if you believe in God, your life is a a story about how real he is to you. Because there's a lot of people out there that don't even know, that don't trust and know and believe that he is real because of what they've experienced in their life that has clouded over what they know. And I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt, yeah, that's real. He is real. And know that he is real. And trust and know that God is good regardless of what goes on in this life. And we may have heartache, we may have pain, we may have a lot of trouble, but knowing and trusting and believing that God is a good God and has great things in store for us. See, a lot of times people will wonder, how is this God a good God when he had killed all these people back in the Old Testament? But you know what? You know, it's hard to understand that or explain that. But then his love was shed abroad when he sent his only son to this earth to live, show us the way, and to die. You know, that's real love. When you sacrifice somebody for the world, for each and every person that would come to this earth, be born and live, to know that, to know that, to know him is real love. And that's where real love emanates from. It's from him alone is where that emanates from. And I think a lot of people, they get all messed up with wondering how that love applies when they didn't get the promotion, or they're having discord in their family, or got a bad report, or just having a rough time, rough year. And that's really what, and those are some hard things. Don't get me wrong. You know. So yeah, it's kind of long-winded on this one, but you know what? It's all good. It's all good. I think a lot of times people are just like, oh yeah. But you know, these are things that you got to put in perspective. You know, I tend to be one of those guys that's kind of like the quiet guy in the room in a way, but then when truth be told, I'll speak some truth, and it'll be like dropping some nuggets from my life, from what I get, you know, and that's all there is to it. Knowing that much can get you to the next level. And see, a lot of people are it's so easy to get worked up over stuff that happens. And I know that it's not easy. This life isn't easy. This life is never a cakewalk. Never was. It never will be. Because of what you experienced to this point. It's never gonna be that cakewalk like, ooh, this life is easy. You know, if there was an easy button, wouldn't you be pressing that thing all the time? Of course you would, right? Who wouldn't? You'd be pressing that button because you know that this life is easy. And when life is easy, guess what? You can coast through life. Not have to worry about what's going to happen or anything like that. And you know, I'll close with this, right? I know it's about 20 minutes or whatever. The same friend that I talked about earlier was somebody that in his final days on this earth, I don't know what else to say. When a man who knew that he was dying, knew that his time was coming, said these words, I know that God's got me. Okay? And that, for him, was all that he needed. Even though his life was going into tanker, his life took a downward spiral in his final days. His life, and it was like everything around him just kind of went down. But at the end of the day, I think there was I don't know. I think a lot of times it's easy to get to a point where just your life can take the sails out of you. Things that happen in life can take the sails take the wind out of you. And that's really what happens if you're not grounded, if you're not rooted. And see, that's really the crux of all this anyway. So, 21 minutes. Well, that's all. Peace out.